Good afternoon, Central Ohio, and thanks for joining us here for another edition of our 10 Weather Impact Show. I'm Meteorologist Aaron White, and it's been I would say an interesting week or so after our big winter storm just now over a week ago with so much snow here across Ohio. We got locked into the sub-zero temperatures. We set a record on Saturday morning with 9 degrees below zero. Some other places even dropped down closer to 20 below. The official temperature down to 19 below in Newark. So bitter cold temperatures across all of Ohio because we have all that snow on the ground, but we are going to make some progress here as we go through the forecast. We have a warm up coming our way here as we go through the week, but we're also tracking some more chances for snow. Thankfully, not a big winter storm in the forecast at all, but we do have a couple chances here going into tomorrow. Now, today, it is Groundhog Day, so what did Punxsutawney Phil say about winter? Well, unfortunately, it looks like, according to Punxsutawney, we are going to have 6 more weeks of winter. He saw a shadow this morning there in Pennsylvania. The sun was shining, so he was like, nope, winter's still around. But I will say, we are actually still tracking a warm-up. So maybe we will actually have an early spring as we get some temperatures back up into the 40s. And there are some indications on some of the computer projections that we could be talking about some 50s back in the forecast here by the middle of February. And the overall outlook from the Climate Prediction Center does hold that true, as we likely will see above normal temperatures here where we have the orange and the darker orange, especially there across the Central Plains. And all that warm air, well, it has to go somewhere. So eventually, again, here we are about mid-February, we could be talking about some warmer temperatures here. Normal high around this time of year is into the upper 30s, so 40s and maybe 50s. Could be a possibility here by around the middle of the month. Now, looking ahead to spring, well, we are still 46 days away from the first day of spring on March 20th, when the average high is back to 53. So we're going to make some progress. We got to melt the snow. That is our big factor right now to really, to why it's staying so cold. But even with the snow on the ground, we are starting to see some improving conditions as we get a warmer air mass building in. And that's also helping to melt some of the snow further to our south and further to the west. So while they're melting snow down across parts of Tennessee, Kentucky, and back towards Missouri, Kansas, and Oklahoma, we still have the snow on the ground. Not really going to see much melting here at all for today. 21 degrees is our current temperature. We are tracking a few flurries out there, so we got some more snow in the forecast. Unfortunately, we got more here tomorrow and yet another round on Friday. The good news, though, there are not going to be any major snowstorms by any means. But the one tomorrow, we'll have to watch that for areas south of I-70. If you live in the Columbus metro and north of I-70, probably not going to really see much. Maybe some light snow showers, but the bulk of the snow does look like it is going to stay to the south here for tomorrow. Now, today we did have some light snow showers passing through. Most of that now moving to the east of I-71. Still some activity there around Mansfield up towards the Cleveland metro. Some more light snow showers across southeastern Ohio around Athens, now starting to move away a little bit more. And that's going to clear out, but we could still track a couple flurries over the course of the next several hours. And our high temperature is going to get up to about 27, but that's going to happen later this evening. And then we will start to fall back through the 20s, but it's not going to really get that cold here tonight. Thankfully, we did drop down close to zero in many spots again here this morning, but tonight we're probably only going to be dropping down to the lower 20s, maybe the upper teens. So a little better, and that will give us a head start going into tomorrow. However, tomorrow, a system building in is going to help to bring our temperatures up closer to 30, so it'll feel a little bit better. But it's also going to bring us some snow, and that's going to be mostly to the south of I-70 again, where we do have now a winter weather advisory in effect for Chillicothe, Waverly, over towards the Vinton area, Athens as well, Logan, MacArthur. We're talking about potential for 1 to 3 inches of snowfall. So not a significant storm, but some more snow is in the forecast for these areas, and especially for areas where we didn't really see as much snowfall. Back around Athens, only picking up about 4 to 6 inches of snowfall with our big winter storm. A lot of the heaviest snow was a little bit further to the north where they had some ice mixing in. So they're going to add to the snow here as we go into tomorrow. It's going to happen during the late morning hours and then continue through the afternoon. And we'll see that here on the hour-by-hour forecast. But for the rest of today, at least, we're just tracking a few flurries, some light snow showers here and there. A dusting, maybe close to a ½ inch in a couple places, but honestly, probably not here. It's going to be pretty light overall for the most part. And then as we go into tonight, that clears out of here. By tomorrow morning here, we're starting off fairly quiet. We could have a few flurries around still. Nothing to write home about here for tomorrow morning. Thing to keep in mind, though, is, of course, because of just the snow and even some melting that did happen yesterday with all the sunshine we had, there was some melting going on. Roads could still be icy in some places here, so just be aware of that for tomorrow morning. But here comes that snow here around midday. We have some snow falling around MacArthur, Jackson, Chillicothe, Piketon, Waverly as well. Getting closer to Athens, and that will continue to build through. Here we are, 2 p.m. Could get some light snow showers into the Columbus area, Lancaster, Circleville as well, but it does appear like the better chance for any accumulation is going to be well south of I-70, where you see some of that darker blue showing up, some more moderate snowfall at times. That continues through the early evening. Here we are by 5 p.m., and then it does wind down pretty quickly and out of here by 8, 9 o'clock. So it's not going to be a long duration snow, and it's going to be pretty much on the light side. So that's why I said maybe 1 to 3 inch type snowfall here for tomorrow, and likely not much at all for I-70, Columbus, and northward. Might not even see any snowflakes flying at all here tomorrow around Marion, Bucyrus, Mansfield, Marysville, and Mount Vernon. Might not see anything here for tomorrow. Then as we go into Wednesday, we are going to see a little bit of a cool down. Highs are going to be back to the 20s here for Wednesday and Thursday. I say cool down because it's not going to be bitterly cold like we had just back over the weekend. So a little bit more manageable, but it's still going to be cold here for the next week or so. As temperatures are struggling to get back up to near freezing, you have to go back to, I believe it was January 23rd, when we actually made it up to about 37. We had high temperatures back above freezing. And the next time that's going to happen is probably going to be here on Friday. A few of us around southern Ohio could make it up to about 32, maybe 33 here tomorrow. But for more widespread above freezing temperatures, likely Friday, and then more so next week. We actually are tracking potential for some 30s and even 40 not out of the question. So we'll get there. We'll get some warmer temperatures. It's just going to take a little bit more time. But talk about the snowfall here again, 1 to 2, maybe upwards of 3 inches in some locations to Athens, MacArthur, Jackson, Chillicothe, Piketon, Waverly area. That's what we are expecting. Further north, not much. Dusting to 1 inch at best. If the band of snow is a little bit further north here tomorrow, well, then we'll bump these numbers up just a little bit more closer to I-70. But so far, the trend has been pretty consistent, keeping it across areas south of I-70 here for the snow for your Tuesday. Now, we've had some snow showers around, still could see a couple more flurries today. 27 the forecast high, southwest winds at 5 to 10. And then tonight, not getting that cold, 22 for a low. We'll take that considering we've had days where it didn't even get there. We've had days where it was only about 15 degrees for the high, so 22 at night. Not too bad. Here's a look at the 7-day forecast where we are tracking the chance for snow showers again, mainly south of I-70. Dip in temperatures here for Wednesday, Thursday. We'll get some sunshine back in here. So with the sunshine, if we have days like we had just yesterday, bright sunshine all day, it did help actually melt things despite temperatures staying below freezing. But because of that, with the melting going on, then all that water is just going to freeze as temperatures stay below freezing for really the next several days. Up until Friday, we are up to 34 for a high, so back above freezing, melting some more snowfall, but we're just going to add some more snow. Thankfully, right now, this system does not look like it's going to be a major one, and most of the computer projections are pushing it further east of really central Ohio. So it could be more of a system for Cleveland to Youngstown, Cambridge at best, but it does look like it may actually go more into western parts of Pennsylvania. So we're watching that system here for Friday. Right now, maybe 1 inch or 2 for some locations, but it doesn't look like it's going to be a highly impactful storm here for Friday, especially considering what we just had just about a week ago. And then our temperatures do take a tumble here as we head into the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Tracking highs back in the teens to mid-20s here, but we are tracking some sunshine, so that will make it feel just a little bit better as we go through the 7-day forecast. And then after the 7-day forecast, it does appear like we are going to start to see that warm up. Looking ahead to Monday, Tuesday, and maybe more so Wednesday, that's about the time where we could be talking about highs closer to 40. So 10 days from now. So we'll get there. We'll make some progress. We just gotta give it some time here. As of course, it is still winter, it's still February, so a lot of things can happen, but there is some positivity. We're done with the sub-zero temperatures for now, and we are looking ahead to some better conditions here through the forecast, and especially as we head into next week. And as we talk about the snow, of course, after our major winter storm just over a week ago now, there was yet another storm over the weekend. Thankfully, it did not impact us here in Ohio, but it did impact areas south. The Carolinas got hit by a lot of snowfall over the weekend. Matt Bennett with our sister station in Wilmington, North Carolina, shows how people turned one downtown street into a sledding hill.
A serene scene on the streets of downtown Wilmington with fresh snowfall blanketing the area. Quiet on most streets except for this one.
We get a snow day in the port city. You don't get this very often, so why would you want to sit inside when you can be out enjoying all of this?
Danny Adams, a longtime Wilmington resident originally from Raleigh, was reliving his childhood, riding his late father's flexible flyer.
I grew up sledding on this my whole life. It's great. I mean, I literally have not been on it in over 40 years, so it's a great feeling of nostalgia.
Besides a few sleds, people brought out equipment more commonly used at the beach, including tubes, surfboards, and boogie boards.
It's pretty fast. It's faster on your stomach than when you're sitting, but it's fun.
As long as you get a good running start.
Yeah.
We should have brought the oil. Should have brought the oil. That would have been better.
Others had to get really creative. Just about anything that could be repurposed for sledding was put to use.
They were all out of sleds, so they let us buy this. And I don't know what it is, maybe a washing tub? We kind of need to maybe tie a pulley on it. But yeah, it's doing the trick.
I even joined in on the fun, dusting off my snowboard and hitting the hill just like everybody else. And you didn't need a sled to enjoy the scene. Several people walking their dogs stopped to watch.
They're romping around and also getting ran into by sleds, which makes it even more fun.
We're actually from Colorado.
Oh, okay.
And we've been here about a year and really came to get away from this. And so here we are in the midst. I'm afraid we might have brought it with us.
It was a moment no one wanted to waste, a rare sight in the port city, and one people were determined to enjoy.
Before we know it, it'll be back to 100 and steamy and jungle weather in Wilmington, so we'll take this while we can get it.
Yep.
In Wilmington, Matt Bennett, WWAY News.
Well, at least they're enjoying the snow down there in the Carolinas, and it's going to be melting pretty quickly. But before we go here today, let's check out some new video into us here. And a lot of this is actually out of the Carolinas, where you can see just that powerful storm system. This was off the coast, just along the beach there in North Carolina, where because of the wave action, the high winds, it actually led to one of the beach homes there actually collapsing into the ocean. Just a wild sight with blizzard conditions reported at times in the parts of North and South Carolina, as especially the Outer Banks had winds gusting up to 50 miles per hour and even some snow on the Outer Banks around Cape Hatteras and some of those locations. So a pretty wild storm that actually turned out to be a bomb cyclone, where it strengthened rapidly inside of a 24-hour span, producing such heavy snowfall because of all the cold air that has been in place here just over the last week. Of course, we've been feeling the cold here in Ohio. They got it to the south there in the Carolinas, allowing for some snow that they don't really get too often. Sometimes they can go a whole winter without getting some snowfall, but again, just a wild sight and just unfortunate there with that beach home collapsing into the ocean, just due to how powerful of a storm system this truly was. And that all happened just on over the weekend, as that whole bomb cyclone was really impacting that area. Now, other video that was hidden to us here, this one actually from Charlotte, North Carolina, the western part of the state, where they also got all that heavy snowfall. They had winter storm warnings in effect, and it led to conditions like this that you can see there as somebody was landing at Charlotte at the airport there, and heavy snowfall blanketing almost the entire state of North Carolina. And then they got some of the frigid temperatures dropping down into the single digits and teens, low wind chill factors as well. So just a wild sight to see across North Carolina, and especially considering this comes after the last winter storm that impacted us with all that heavy snowfall. They also got ice. They had power outages reported in parts of North Carolina, and then having to deal with yet another winter stormfall. But thankfully things are going to be improving here. But again, just wild to see so much snow there in North Carolina. And not even just from the Carolinas, but all the way up to here in Ohio. Snow stretches back across the Midwest. There's over 40% of the U.S. covered with snow right now. But as I mentioned with the forecast, thankfully, things are going to start to melt. We're going to melt some of the snowfall, especially as we get into Friday and looking ahead to next week. So we'll make some progress, and we will have more updates on the warm up coming up later on this evening. Meteorologist Michael Behrens will be in at 4 p.m. to take us through the warm up that we have in store, but also track in those chances for snow here tomorrow and again on Friday. So until then, you can catch more news and weather online as always at 10tv.com.